Hello, data protection enthusiasts. This is the video capture for the first panel session during the DAMA-Day 2025 event, The Future of Data AI Governance, on May 16th at the Meydenbaur Convention Center in Bellevue, Washington State. AI governance refers to the processes, policies, and ethical considerations that guide the development, deployment, and use of AI systems and models. Data management is critical in the world today. Here is the informative, critical panel session on the future of data and AI.
Thank you, Paul. And thanks for running the show and keeping us all awake and engaging. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome and invite our panelists on stage to discuss our AI application across industries. Creative Director in Branding and Design, Karl Weaver, Director Newport Technologies,
AI is how how we're handling a lot of performance marketing and creative ideation.
各位来宾，欢迎参加今天下午的小组。我叫魏卡尔。Good afternoon. My name is Karl Weaver. I'm a wireless market. I'm a mobile device specialist for the Far East. I've worked for companies like Gemalto, which is now Thales, Trustonic, and ARM, promoting embedded mobile device security, especially smart card technologies and semiconductor technologies. I've jumped into the AI chip supply chain with Asia Pacific and the GenAI smartphone revolution, and hopefully we'll talk about that today.
Hello, everyone.
So I'm in the mobile side, the mobile ecosystem side, with all of these smart devices, and I'm here to tell you AI is already in everything. It's not like it's coming. It's been here. It is here. And I focus really pretty much on, when it comes to AI, you have to really focus on these large language models. Who's designing them? Who's developing? Are they safe? Is it garbage in? Is it garbage out? Is it not? And then also, the other key point, if you want to generate things, it's inference at the edge. So when you look at AI, which is actually being embedded as algorithms into semiconductor chips. Those chips go into data centers in the cloud, and then you can use AI. But there's also AI at the edge, and I focus more on AI at the edge, where your cellular IoT module is being used with AI right now to refine data, but it's also being used in your smartphone to give you Gen AI experiences with all kinds of things like video and audio, voice, data. So actually AI is here, it's here now. It cannot exist without semiconductor chips being taking the algorithm and designing it into the semiconductor chip. And of course that goes, the data center needs a semiconductor chip going into the server. The smartphone, the IoT device, they all need the chips that drive and protect, which we haven't talked about, the AI algorithm. So really it's about data protection, data security, and the evangelization of AI, because it has positive and negative usages.
So this is a great question to start with, and one thing we are seeing is organizations
So I want to focus more on it's risky, but it's also actually a pain point right now. I want to talk about a real world application issue. If you have a video camera, actually what happens is AI is already implemented in many of these video cameras, and it's hallucinating. What do I mean by that? There's a leaf that blows across the camera in the night. It detects it as an intruder. It could be a raccoon. It could be an owl. It detects it, and then it sets off the camera to start videotaping or doing something else, draining your battery. And in the morning you have more video content because some of these cameras are remote. They actually work with a battery backup. Problem. So this is a kind of I call it kind of an issue in that AI does have a habit of hallucinating. It can't always tell the difference. Trees in the shadows can appear to be a thief or something like that, where the AI is interpreting. It's trying to interpret what that thing is, and it's not done a great job. And this is one very practical example. If you make video cameras, this is a practical example. I want to talk though, let's not look at the bad side of everything. There's a positive side. And in my ecosystem, I see AI-generated virtual assistants, which have been around a long time. You didn't realize they're using AI. I want to talk about user experiences. Listen, one day your smartphone is going to wake you up in the morning, probably listen to either Bach, Beethoven, or grunge music, whatever you like to wake up in the morning to, and it's going to tell you, you might be getting a cold. You should take some cold medicine. So you're going to have personal user experiences where your smartphone is actually going to be your doctor in lieu of a doctor. And then AI is being used in lots of mobile applications now to help with image recognition, and that's also important for mobile payments. It's also important for, think about this, national ID is not just, well, have you all gotten your new ID, your government? If you haven't, don't worry, you can use your passport. But actually, Apple and Google have both put that technology on your smartphone in various states. Unfortunately not Washington State yet. It will happen. But we need AI to make sure that the image that it's recognizing is actually legitimate. So AI is very helpful in doing that. And then, so I also mentioned about how mobile payment uses biometric applications like thumb, iris, voice, face. We need to make sure that that face is real. So AI is actually helping in very, very positive ways for AI and, say, the biometric side of things. So I think I'll stop there.
When we talk about risks, especially definitely when you do this, but there is an aspect of mindset shifts that we've been working on.
It's evolving, yeah.
Yes.
So when you speak about edge devices, they need to take all of this data and they need to bring it into the cloud. So why is that important? Well, it's important because, first of all, before you send it into the cloud, you need to refine, slice and dice that data to make sure only the most pertinent data is going into the cloud, because it's expensive to send anything into the cloud. So if you're an organization involved in transmitting data from your smartphone, from your IoT device, you care very much about the costs to send data into the cloud. So it's very, very important to make sure, if you want to save money when you're using data, you want to make sure only the most pertinent data is going into your AWS, your Google Cloud, etc., etc. So AI helps in being able to do that because you only want the most pertinent data going into the cloud. You don't want everything going into the cloud. It was kind of like today's 9 o'clock session. What is it? Garbage in, garbage out. What is that? GIGO? Very cool acronym. So that's what I think is important for all of these enterprises that use data to realize, data can be the new gold, but if your data is going in and it's not cost effective, then it's not improving your ROI.
I think we'll see.
I also see agentic agents being very, very important, but for a little bit different reason, not actually a human reason. It's a machine reason. If you're driving a Tesla vehicle, and I do see many more of them on the roads these days, well, they're not going to be the only electric vehicle in this country. There are going to be many different types of electric vehicles. Do they talk to each other? No. Teslas probably do. I'm sure Elon is working. Elon, are you here? No, he's not here. In my mind, Tesla vehicles will be able to communicate with each other. No, oh, that's you come from my Arizona factory. Hey, I'm numbered 650,000. You're my brother. Okay, that's what we see for electric vehicles from Tesla. However, there's going to be lots of other electric vehicles. There needs to be a standard where all electric vehicles are communicating with each other so that they can all avoid collisions with each other. Imagine one electric vehicle hitting another electric vehicle. Who's going to argue? That's very funny, right? So I see agentics being important, but I see agentics being important not just for humans to improve our lives. I see it important for machines so that they can communicate with each other in a very positive manner. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense? I think it does. We have to monitor the machines and make sure they're doing the right things for us. Anyway.
That's where humans play an important role still. It's not agentic. It's not AI.
Still.
Yes.
Yes.
And then what? So yeah, I mean, that's, my perspective.
I totally agree. It's just the beginning. And we are in the interesting time we are in. And AI is going to be transformative. AI is going to be disruptive. And there is a lot more value. And we have been hearing in the session since morning about the trust, security, human connections, and all this becoming very, very important. How data strategy to be tied to business value, business with the tools and others. With this, doing a quick time check, I already got it in. So I know we can go on and on. This is such an engaging, deep and interesting session, and hearing perspective in each field was really amazing. So I would like to thank you all for being here. Without your perspectives, this session wouldn't have been so impactful. So thank you all from all of us. Yes, I would like.
Some of these regulations come out faster in Europe, so I hope they, come out and then you all follow. They will, but I hope that they are closer to the innovation speed than really spread out. But it's a huge thing, and big risk, and we'll see how it plays out. And thanks for asking such a great question.
So data centers emit the most CO2 emissions in the world. This is a fact. I helped to build a green energy data infrastructure network, harnessing the power of Mother Nature, which is solar panels, to take energy, green energy, convert it into data, and bring it onto the blockchain. So there are tremendous things being done right now because we have to, because AI generates too much in the data centers, too much heat, and actually water, which we don't even talk about, but actually it's a very important component for semiconductor chip manufacturing, as well as AI ecosystems for the data centers. You need the water to cool down the data centers. Now, I want to bring this back to what is the solution. I think I mentioned this about 10 years ago, and apparently people weren't listening. It's more than just AI, it's more than just data. It's really about your self-sovereign identity, right? Number one, but number two, how do you solve that? It won't be solved by us talking. It'll be solved by a United Nations-like organization monitoring every single person that's involved in developing the technology. That's how you will solve this problem. And I say let's start with Silicon Valley, and then I say let's start with the mobile network operators, because they're the ones who are actually delivering you your generative AI. They're the ones that are delivering you your wireless technology, your voice, your data. It's actually being done through mobile network operators. So if you want the answer to the solution, we need a United Nations-like organization. We don't have it. We have United Nations, right? But we don't have an ethical organization that has teeth to fight into people that do harmful and malicious things. And by the way, there are data brokers all over the world who want to salivate by stealing your data and selling it to everybody else. And I would say maybe I'm going to take heat for this, but maybe one of the only companies that I could possibly even trust might be Apple. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for that, but I've seen a lot of cool things. Now, I also want to say something very, very important for this country, which I think we're all kind of missing the point. TSMC has brought their semiconductor chip manufacturing down to Phoenix, Arizona. That's very, very important. I was involved 8 years ago trying to lobby to bring TSMC to the state of Washington next to Everett in order to put the semiconductor chip manufacturing here, because what do we have? Power, lots of water. They don't have water in Arizona. However, they got that business, we lost it. Okay, alley-oop, that's the way life is. However, when you look at sustainability, green energy, when you look at AI, when you look at security, these are actually all very interrelated. We are blessed to live in a very, very important state for actually the activity of all of this, especially with AI. We are blessed. I just wish that we had the opportunity to bring some of that semiconductor chip manufacturing from Arizona back up here in Washington State. By the way, TSMC actually has a packaging facility in Camas, Washington, actually right now. It's already been there for 10 years. We did have semiconductor chip manufacturing here in DuPont with Intel. Unfortunately, they jumped ship. They're not here anymore. That's life. This still is a great place to invest, and that's why I'm saying we need to really think beyond. Look, Taiwan is the source for 90% of all this semiconductor chip manufacturing for AI chips. Let's lobby where the source is. You want to find solutions? I've just told you a solution.